see the return of Walking Dead for season 6 episode 1. Now it was actually a very interesting one. I was really like excited to see this more than I was actually to see like Arrow, Flash, and a few others. I mean, I did recently just see Flash and Arrow, and they're really good for like first episodes. I'm really glad, but it's like nah, for like the entire season it was like nah, Walking Dead, I gotta see it. So I'm gonna be talking about the first like episode of this season. Like I did kind of do like a lot of like the mid-season finale of like season 5. That's kind of why I caught up. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it like weekly, you know, going to talk about it like until mid-season. That all depends, you know, kind of like feedback, and if you guys really want me to keep talking about it, because, you know, I do like to talk about live action shows and all that, but they didn't do too well on the channel than I was expecting. But, you know, I do want to at least get some more stuff on here, so this and Game of Thrones and maybe some other stuff that you might see on there, but yeah, definitely want to talk about that. So we get to see like this episode was very strange, like how the way it was structured. It was juggling between bits in the past, which you saw it was all grey out and all that, like all before after, you know, Reginald's death, and everything as well from the current time, what was happening with their plan that they were trying to execute. And I'm pretty much going to talk more about the, like the Flash stuff, flashback stuff first. They were basically discussing like, okay, now we got rid of the bodies and all that, and they wasn't going to bury like the motherfucker that killed him. It's like, no, we're not putting killers in like the graveyard. Like, get the fuck out of there with that shit. It's like, I mean, I personally, if someone that kills someone, like it's just out of cold blood, I would not bury them there. It's the same thing. And kind of like we're seeing like Rick, like seeing like how he's like keeps talking and saying like more like he's like, oh, you changed and all that. It's like you keep saying like I'm a different person, and it's like he's trying to prove them, saying no, you are like kind of a good man. It's like like right about the end of like the kind of like the little episode, he's like, no, you are a good man, like Rick and all that. It's like you're holding your baby. It's like you try to do it, like you could have killed which I believe is like whatever his name is, like he was gonna kill him because he was saying shit about him. He was like, oh, we're gonna overtake it back from him, and I'm like, really? Are you really going to do this to him? I'm like, come on. Like, you know, Rick's the one that pretty much made you guys kind of realize the truth, and most of you guys were assholes. I mean, yeah, they caused him issues, and he was with his gun out last season like a fucking psychopath, but come on. Out of everyone, like, Rick is trying to do his good out there for him. I mean, is he a good guy? Yeah, not particularly. He's more like anti-hero kind of thing, but he's like, it sounds crazy, but we're in a crazy world now. He said it perfectly, and it's like, the whole plan from one of the reasons was like, why is Alexandria, why is it able to, like, survive so well? And one of the reasons that we found out exactly is because a lot of the walkers have been like going into like sort of this like cliffside area, this really, and a lot of them, and actually is like there's like trucks that have been blocking them, and one of them is on like a cliff, and it's starting to give way after like a bunch of like weather and like just all of them being there, and that's going to go, and all of them walkers are going to go out there. So like Rick kind of devised the plan, which he got everyone else together, is that they're going to build some walls, like kind of pass them around, and they're going to move them around to a different part of the area, and it was like they were going to get them like way past. I mean, they had like this whole little war area, so they wouldn't go exactly that way, and they had, you know, Daryl, like he was out there like trying to like, you know, on the bike as well, and you got like Abraham, like all of them trying to like go out there, and it's like the others, you know, they're pretty there flying the flare guns and stuff like that, and that was going on. Although we did have the death in this episode, and honestly, I didn't feel that too much to this death. So yeah, if you guys don't want to be spoiled about who died in this episode, I suggest, you know, you watch the episode and then, like, I don't know, come back to this, or if you don't give a fuck, then there you go. So I'm gonna say his death in 3, 2, 1. So it was Carter this episode that died, and I've got to say, like, the way how he died compared to a lot of other characters was very, like, considering to what happened to Noah, like, Noah was just brutal. That was, like, one I just, like, whenever I think of Noah's death, I can't, like, ugh, it's rough. But with Carter especially, it really was, like, he got bit in the face because he was going around saying like he was going to go with it. He was going to go to the front and kind of get some of the Wranglers as well out of there. He gets catched by a walker, which to be fair, he should have defended. I mean, I know like a lot of the others, like, because there was a whole situation why Carl wanted to like try and take care of Rick and like take him out from the past part of the episode, is mainly because like, oh, there was like walkers as they were building the walls, and he was taking command. He was like, oh, you don't take chances though, Rick, and all. He's like, well, they got to learn how to fight someday. And I mean, I kind of agree with that. It's I'm in a post-apocalyptic world filled with like brim with zombies and all that. I kind of want to know how to like take care of myself, how to fight. And I understand people are terrified about getting over that thing. I'd be shitting myself. And I'd probably be already dead, let's be honest. I wouldn't survive like one fucking season of that show, like, at all. Like, I got a lot of pushing for the cushion here. Like, I got a lot of fat on me. I don't think I'm going to be running away. I'm a prime target for them walkers. So, it's like, when he kind of pulled that and he pulled the gun, he literally was going to do it. And it's like, on Eugene, I'm like, get the fuck out of there. I can, like, take care of this. Rick owns his ass. But the way how he got killed, it was just like, he got like bit on the face and he was screaming and terrified. I think he got a bit of his eye taken out as well. He was like in pain. He wouldn't stop screaming like that. And Rick technically is the one that killed him, but he was already a dead man walking. I mean, he had to snap his neck, take him down. It was like, I just like how Morgan was just looking at him. He was like, damn, like that's one way to fucking go down there. And it's like, it was really interesting. Like the episode has some bits as you were going through it. Like, you know, you had Glenn trying to trust in that motherfucker, and then he killed, like, not really trust, but he's like letting him out on the field saying, yeah, I'm gonna do some shit and all that. And it's like, that's really smart. And also as well, no one trusted the priest because fuck him. And it's like, no, he like tried to volunteer to fight. It's like, he ain't gonna do anything useful. Like, what the fuck is he gonna do? So, and honestly, how the episode ended was someone set off an horn somewhere, which decided to like not get all the walkers, but it got a good part of them, and anyone that was coming that way, like a horn was being set off. So maybe that might be set off by one of them. Maybe someone else did that, sent them to the grave. But honestly, now they're in a bit of the pickle now. Now that that like whole truck's gone off there, and everyone's just fucked. I mean, they just crossed their plan up, and now a lot of these people around Alexandria, like, they are just absolutely screwed. Like what the hell? Like, this is honestly shows that it isn't safe. Like, that's the one thing there. So I'm really curious, like, because I definitely want to read more of the comics. I'm kind of haven't read them in a while now, but now that Walking Dead's back, and this is like a good chance for me to kind of get back on that comic game and start reading it and like checking more stuff out in the future. So I'm very curious to see like what exactly is going to go down. But it was a good episode of Return. Like, it was balancing a lot of things because, you know, everyone had their stuff. Like Glenn had his moment in the episode, like taking out all those walkers in that little weird little supermarket area where they had to deal with them, with like the new characters that came in. Like, I didn't really want to talk too much about them since they didn't do too much, but I think the new one, Heath, I believe his name, like the guy with the dreads and all that, like, he seems alright. He seems one of the decent guys, honestly. Like, so far, like, I mean, I remember they saying that I think once before that we had some people out there that were scouting, so this is kind of a good reason to add more characters into it. But honestly, yeah, they're gonna have to do something for me to like them. So far, I kind of like prefer the cast. I don't really care too much that Carter's was dead. Like, honestly, he had kind of underwhelming death, to be fair, like out of a lot of people. But mind you, it was the start of the episode, and there was a lot of the interesting stuff and a lot of mystery as well set up. And it was like, even as well, like with Rick being like fucking threatening like that guy's kid as well, the one that got that he killed. Like, he's saying like, you can't talk to him like that. It's like, really, like, he's going out there saying, oh, I want to see where my dad's buried. I understand that, but your dad, he murdered someone out of just cold blood. Not to mention as well, like, you're out there with a bunch of walkers. You would have died if it weren't for like Rick and Morgan. It's like, come on. So honestly, it was a great episode. I give it like an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was a really good episode. It added a lot of blending. The only issue really with the episode is nothing with what was in the I guess you could say, yeah, Carter's death was like a little bit underwhelming. Like, I mean, that's sort of the death he's got, really. I mean, that's the sort of person he was. He was a mess up. He was a screw up, and that's kind of what he gets. Honestly, it's like, the way how the episode was like, oh, it's like this part and that part, maybe, I mean, they could have, like, honestly, it would have been a lot more interesting. They like had everything at the first. Maybe you just did the flashback instead of making it like a flashback, just put it from there and just start off from there, and then the second half of the episode just go from there. Obviously they did that for the reason like they wanted to keep people interested, like, for all that part. But then as well, you know, it's okay, maybe you should show a snippet or a good bit of it at the start of the episode and then go straight into it, you know, into the flashback stuff. Sure, a lot of us would probably be like, oh my god, just get on with the episode, like, but I think then that would really make it out. I mean, overall, it's still a good episode, but it's like, sometimes it kind of took you out of the momentum of the episodes showing this stuff. So, honestly, yeah, I think it was a great episode. I definitely give that an 8.5. Had some issues, had some great moments, I think more great than kind of bad, but it was like, honestly, there was nothing to complain at all in the episode, apart from really how they just did it, really, with like the whole flash. But like, once that whole stuff going on with like all the shit kicking off with the plan, that's when it was like into action. I'm like, this is what I want to fucking see. But honestly, yeah, great return of Walking Dead. And let me know in the comments section down below if you've been watching it. Are you caught up to Walking Dead, and what did you think about this episode? But that's all from me, so thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next time.